Does that work? Yes, we're there. For some reason, in the last couple of streams, I just completely forget that I need audio until literally 2 seconds before I press live. Or in this case, 2 seconds after. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to a bonus live stream, Building the Darwin Evo. I have to let you know, the stream is sponsored by E3D, LDO, and Jo Prusa, because E3D and LDO have provided parts and Jo is paying me to do the build. Now you know. This is Darwin Evo. It's the 2023/24 version of the 3D printed 3D printer that started it all. So we're building one. Yay! It's starting to look like a printer as well, which really helps. I mean, maybe not so much from that side, but maybe a bit. Anyway, I've done a couple of things between the last stream and this one, which, believe it or not, was only yesterday. I've not really done anything significant. I swapped the bed because, if you remember, I had the wrong wooden one, and I've swapped it back to the correct type of wood, which is making a huge difference, but I've done it. Now you know. The other thing I've done is M4 inserts in these Revo nozzle racks, mainly because I know I need to switch out between the M3 and the M4 for doing these ones. I didn't want to do that midstream because I'll end up in a hurry and then burn myself. So yes, those are just done. It's just heatset inserts. The M4, it can be a bit difficult to hold it like this while you're doing a thing, or maybe even freehand. But if you stack them two together like this, then that makes the perfect angle for inserting them. So pretty easy to do. So yes, I think that's all the things I need to say before we actually get into it. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is enjoying their bank holiday Friday in the UK. People may be off out doing other stuff and things. Lars is here. Hello, good to see you. I've just seen the latest RepRap video about their upcoming shenanigans. Hopefully we'll be able to get involved with that at some point. But in the meantime, we've got some building to do. So I'm pretty much going to carry on with where I got to at the end of the last stream, as we're just sort of starting to connect things together and wire them up. Just adding my extra inserts to make sure I record all the extra ones that I add. Obviously, this was not a planned live stream, so it's not really the normal time or anything. I mean, it's sort of the normal time, I suppose, but I don't think I ever really stream on a Friday. Just wanted to get a bonus one as I felt like I had a bit of free time. Not really free time. I don't know. Just felt like it. I felt like we made good progress yesterday, and I wanted to continue that forwards. So, yes, just pushing on with the build. Try and get it to printing state. So this is the CAN to USB adapter. I don't think you actually strictly need one, because the Max EZ, I think, has a CAN controller on board. But I put one on the first build, so since I'm just replicating the entire first build that I did, I'm using the same one again. Hopefully it's in a box back here. Hopefully here. Yes. We'll sort out the wiring and stuff for these bits and bobs later on. For now, we're just going to mount them. And I believe we can use M3 screws, not included in this case, but that's fine. M3 screws fit right? Yes. So strangely enough, I didn't use M3 inserts for these corner ones. There's just threaded plastic, because why the hell not? Still absolutely fine, really, for doing just mounting of electronics. I suspect we're going to have quite a quiet live stream today. If anyone has questions and stuff, feel free to ask away. We have to add the jumper for the 120 ohm resistor. That's just a function of CAN, since we only have two devices, one at either end. We need the resistor on both. We'll do the rest of the connectors later. I'll probably use ferrules. Maybe we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Will we power up today? You know what? It's kind of... I guess it's possible. Because I'm doing all the electronic stuff. We probably won't do wiring accurate first time. We'll do just the full length, get everything in and powered up, and make sure everything works. And then shorten them to the correct length for optimal tidiness. Maybe I'll do that off stream. It's not particularly exciting. We'll do that after the build's sort of finished, maybe. So yeah, potentially power today. Although it would be good to do on a Thursday maybe when there's a few more people. But either way, doesn't really matter. This is this. So that can... Oh, you can see. Better than me, really. That goes in between these two up here. Maybe not that way around, but that's the way around it's going for now. The next thing is the power. So... More... Oh, no. The other thing... This is what I had last stream. I mean, this is going to take 2 seconds. Well, it'll take 2 seconds if I can find the right blooming parts. I need to reorganize this box a little bit. Because I've used, of the bags of stuff that I've bought, I've used a few bits out of it, and I don't need the rest, but this thing's still in the box. It is what it is. So I used... Oh, I printed 2, but you only need 1. So this is just to help divide up the low voltage power to the control board and whatnot. Pretty sure that's what I've done there. Yes. So again, on our DIN rail, that clips on somewhere about there. And that'll do that nicely. Now we shall move on to this. So this is just a box that's going to house the power switch. And so we have to do a bit of wiring for that. I'm not sure we're going to have the correct terminals for this. I've just realized that I don't think we have covered terminals. We have all the hook and ring and loop and what's it's like that. We need wire, we need earth. We don't at all. Aha, this is what we need. So we have the power switch itself. And obviously we need to connect to these doodads on the back to make a functioning circuit. But I've forgotten to add, because you need a covered, I've forgotten the name of it. What do they call it? It's like a male, female tongue. I don't know. But we don't have the right terminals. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So hopefully I've got some in me drawer of everything. Me box of bits, box of tricks, whatever you call it. Excuse me. Hello, Ricky. Good to see you. This one looks a little bit large. Do we have some slightly smaller ones? Probably. Those are the same size. That's an empty bag. Okay, this looks like the right ones. How many have we got in here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The perfect number. So let's not balls it up. Good afternoon, Jose. Good to see you arriving at the start of a live stream. Oh, today is it? So that's going to go in there, something like that. Or is it that way around? No, it's this way around. And then we put the connectors on the back. That on there. That on there. Cables come out here. Cover it on. That keeps it from spinning. Clips on the top. Bish bash bosh. Easy peasy. Let's add some wires. So the earth, we're going from here, and we want to go all the way to here. You can't really see very well. This is the downside of this printer at the moment. It's difficult to see because of all the extra stuff which now covers the inside. So something like that. Going down to there, across to here. We don't want to do it too short because that'll just make a mess of everything. But we equally obviously don't want to waste any more than we absolutely need to get it right. In an ideal scenario, we know the exact length, but at the moment I don't. Thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's coming along. It's taken a little bit longer than planned, I think, but only because we've just sort of tried to do, I've done one a week. I'm trying to get a consistent streaming schedule so people know when to expect a live stream. But obviously the downside is that if I end up not being able to make one, then we end up going basically 2 weeks without a live stream. So I think that slows progress down a bit. And because I don't have much space all the time that this is here, it makes it very difficult to do other things. I say very difficult. It's not very difficult. It's just a bit more difficult. There we go. I've just had a thought. I think I have got these connectors. I've remembered what the ones that should be here look like. Yes, here they are. So what are these like? They're a bit big. So they are on the bomb. These ones are just not particularly optimal for these size things. These are like, they're kind of 6mm and these look closer to like 4. So I think I'll try and modify the ones on the bomb to some that are a little bit thinner, a little bit narrower. That would be best, I think. I've just realised this hasn't got to go as far as I think. It's going... Oh, this is the thing. You start trying to get it in, you just jab your hand against it. I've got to go into the mains part. I can't remember if I go to here first. I think we'll be checking the other printer as normal. It's weird, because obviously the first time I did this, I mean, I thought about it and just sort of did it. Whereas now that I've got one, part of me just is very fixated on that being the way to do it. And that anything else is then sort of wrong. As the phrase goes, a bit of a weird phrase. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That's a very odd phrase. I don't know how that came about, because I'm not sure what people were skinning cats for, but anyway. If I'm not careful what I'm talking about, we'll end up with a Nero situation. Keeping an eye on making sure I'm still live. Oh, what? Well, that's no good. This one was fine, wasn't it? Well, blow me over. Oh, don't go to sleep. Okay, that's better. So we've got the live one coming in. That goes across the fuse. So that goes there. Hopefully you can't hear a 3D printer printing at the moment. My Bamboo is printing some PLA and I've got the door open and it's very, very loud. Yeah, there's not much extra room for this. I think these are probably the one kind of terminal I don't like really doing. They require a lot of force. I quite like an electronic one. That'd be quite nice to just go boop and it goes. I just crimps it down because this. Maybe I've got not these set up quite right. It's just a huge amount of force to get it to go how I want it to. I sometimes like bite my teeth, I think, when I do it. It's probably not good for you. So don't do that. Just going to do a quick test as a sanity check to make sure I'm wiring these up correctly. I'm pretty sure I am, but it's always worth having a check, even when you feel confident, just to be sure. So I'm just going to test the continuity. That's on, that's off, that's on, that's off. Blue to brown doesn't connect, which is good. And then cool. Happy Easter and welcome. Right, since we messed up one of those terminals somehow, we're going to have to dig out another one. Hopefully I've got extras here. Not advised to eat whole Easter egg in one go. Yeah, I can see that being recommended. Not being recommended, whichever way around. For these wires, based on what's on the bomb, I'm pretty sure we have quite a lot of extra length. We've got to get up to the bed and down to here, but we've got, I think, because they're coming like meter lengths minimum. Vertical linear motion press. I got a shout out, did I? Ooh! I should probably check. It's a shame that I've run out of stock, isn't it? I've still not seen that. That was the one with the double gantry printer, wasn't it? I started watching it and then had to go do something else, so I didn't get to finish watching that, unfortunately. Often the case with videos for me. Start watching them, get caught up in something else, and then don't get to watch the end. And then by the time I want to go back and watch it, I miss it. A link to a time code. Oh, should we watch it? Probably shouldn't. Ah, nice. Oh. Oops. Oops. This is the video. Make sure you go watch it. It's really interesting. I'm going to go watch the rest of it later, I think, now that I have been reminded of it. They built this very cool... I won't share too much now, but it's a very cool, like, dual gantry printer. Just realised I don't think I have a link to my own shop on my YouTube channel. I have one in like the description, but not on the actual like main channel page. I'm no good at marketing. Right. This one goes on here. Ow! I hate these connectors. Ah, mother fudger. Okay. I think we're on. Now we can grab this doobly-doo. Feed the wires through the... Oh, the other way. Through the wires. Feed the wires through the hole. Comes up here. Make sure you put it the way where the screws align with the holes. Ideally, countersink screws, but I don't think I put any in the bottom for it. I just went with socket head screws because it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Whilst we're here, let's have a quick check at the fuse. have a 10 amp 250 volt fuse, I think, so that's okay. If I can get it back in. And then got wires. So there's sort of a little bridge at the bottom here, that little stand. So there's space there to put a zip tie. So the plan is sort of fish the wires around to try and get them to come out near there. Because you want to zip tie them in really to get them supported. So you're not pulling on the connectors, or the connection, I should say. And then zip tie in place if you can find a zip tie. The ones we've got here are very, very long. It's the longest zip tie I've ever seen. Well, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. It's very, very long. Then we poke these wires through this hole, make sure it's the right way around. You need to make sure that this little slot is going to line up with this slot here, because they line up nicely, and then that helps it. Because this is a round bar, so if you just mount it to that, it can rotate. So it just slides along and touches one of the crossbars, and that stops it from wiggling. Because we don't want wiggly power wires, thank you very much. And then you just screw the back cover into place. I've lost YouTube chat. There we go. Yeah, I suppose I have a link to the wrong page. I need a one to the actual shop. Oh, I've just, speaking of the shop, I've added some lower shipping charges. The ones I had, I don't want to explain the whole reasoning. Basically, in my old shop, I had like automatic postage calculation, but I don't have that in the current shop because it costs an absolutely ridiculous amount. So unfortunately, I have to do like flat rate shipping. So I can only limit it by like weights, but Royal Mail doesn't really go on weights. It goes on sizes and weights, but there's no sizes in Shopify. It just has not grasped the concept of size, which is a little bit frustrating. So basically my international shipping rates were a single price regardless of what you bought, which means I had to put it quite high, because if you buy a big thing and it cost me like 50 quid to ship it, I don't want to just lose all the money. So I've added a new shipping rate for low weights, which hopefully should fit in also small packages, which I can ship via Royal Mail, hopefully, and not lose money. Because if I do, that's kind of dumb. But yes, if you're international, so i.e. anywhere but the UK, you should now find some more delightful shipping rates available on the website for smaller orders. For bigger orders, they're still quite high, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot I can do about that. It is what it is. So this is going on here. Let me try and show you how this mounts. Oh yeah, no, I was in the right place. So, as I mentioned before, this kind of bit goes up to the rail, so it goes like this, and then you can see you put the clips on either side. So put those on. I think this is the wrong clip. I didn't realize this had different clips to the other things. Maybe that I don't have the right clips. That would be frustrating. That's not, that's not, that's not. That's not. That's not. I think I've not printed the right clips. What numpty? I wonder if I can try and pull them up now. Are there supposed to be screws in the block nearest to the camera, the one on the cross and the diagonals? This one here. No, these holes, I've used the same blocks in multiple places, so these would have heatset inserts. It's screwed in from the other side with M3s. No, I don't have the slicer properly set up here. Oh, that is noisy printer. Well, this was silly, wasn't it? Well, basically, it's supposed to go like this, and then you clip it on, and you slide it across to here, and then it holds onto that rail just by being clipped in the right place, and then it doesn't rotate at all. So it sits there. But it won't do anything until I get the right clips on it. Because I've been a silly bugger. I suppose what I can do is try and just sort of jam some clips on in the wrong way, just so it's held. Design so printer forgets how to build it. Yeah. I remember the first one. Thing is, I've not changed the design of this printer since, what, like October last year? So I've not really studied the design files or been into them since then. So that's that on. And I'm trying to make it the same as the first one. I think I'm getting really caught up on making it the same as the first one. Because if I was not trying to make it the same, I wouldn't worry about it being the same. Like, I would do it any way that works rather than making sure it's this specific way that's exactly the same. And I suppose part of the reason for doing it, trying to make it the exact same and stressing about it, is that the bill of materials that I've created is based on that design. So if I build it slightly different or use slightly different screw lengths or something just very silly like that, then I'm not really testing the BOM. And if I'm not testing the BOM, then what's the point? Well, there is still a point. I mean, but it's a good time to be testing the bill of materials. And yes, I want to be making full advantage of that, because otherwise I have to build another one to test it. The next thing we can put on is these, and those go on the front. Hopefully I've not forgotten how to do that. These are quite easy. Hopefully I can get it right. Hopefully I've got the right clips. These are just one side clips. Not sure if they were the best plan, but they work. Not with that length screw though. Let's check what screw length we need. This looks... I've done this the wrong way around. How did I manage that? No, it's not the wrong way around. It's the right way around. In the other one, the thing can rotate all the way around. What have I done differently? You know what? I bet this whole rail is just sliding along a bit. God, that printer's so freaking loud with the door open. I think it's finishing, so that's good. We can have some peace and quiet. It's important to get this right before we put all the wiring in, because then it will be much more difficult to adjust anything. What I really want to do is slide it all along a bit. Right, let's just give it a test. We need this to be able to flip all the way around. There we go, that's a bit better. How much can we... Do you want to go back a bit? No, let's leave it, that's fine. Right, now we can put this back on here. Power supply back on here. Just waiting for this to load up so I can get the right screw lengths for this. Well, how did I have it yesterday? I feel like yesterday worked quite well. Maybe doing it down the shirt is actually not a good idea. Right. Oh no, hang on. Laptop screen. Well, that's not working very well, is it? What's going on here then? Oh, come on. Why are you no worky? I think if the computer restarts and comes back, the NDI that I use doesn't really like it. There we go. Right, let's bring... So these are nozzle racks at the front. M3 by 15. So 15 or 16. Should still have hopefully 4 of those left. M3 by 12. M3 by 10. Haha, I found some M3 bathead cap screw. I wonder if I could use those where I should have used it. What's these? M5 inserts. M4 by 20. 3 by 20. Something 2 by 10. Okay, we're going to have to add some more M3 by 16. Ah, I don't think these are in the bill of materials actually, because I was like, no one's ever going to use them. Because they're more of a style piece for the show. But I think I'll add them to the bomb. Might as well. Let me just go grab some screws that's going to work. Well, here. These look longer than they need to be. Was it really M3 by 15? Blimey. Oh, what an idiot. Helps if you put it on the right way up. So that holds the nozzles. What is next? We might be pretty close to just ye olde wiring. Ah, we're going to have to move those up a bit, aren't we? I hate my camera situation. I know I mentioned a couple of streams ago about trying to get a multi-camera setup, and I put this shitty webcam back on, but it's disgusting. Yeah, I looked into getting like a second camera and all this kind of jazz, but I just can't find this. Really, the only multi-camera capture card is the Elgato one. And they're basically unavailable, and they're no longer making them. So, pretty much shit out of luck there, to be honest. Yeah, it's coming along nice. We're getting pretty... which way around does this go? Pretty close to completion. I mean, The thing that's obviously not on yet really is a lot of the wiring, which takes time. Not a big fan of this cover. I wish I'd done this front logo a little bit differently. I should have just covered this all the way to the side and then have the clamp from the back. That would have been smart. I can't really even adjust it now. What the hell? What the absolute... Right, that looks good. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. I'm finally getting close to something that looks like a printer. Well, actually, it's almost close to mechanically being finished. How is the build? How is the build? One of the fundamental questions of life. How is the build? It's going pretty well. The bomb validation process has gone pretty smoothly. There's a few little bits here and there which aren't perfect. But other than that, really happy with how it's gone, to be honest. A few little niggles here and there. Don't think there's been any major problems. It's most of the problems are in my head trying to replicate the first printer. Oh, and I printed the wrong clips for the power bracket thing, but little things. Right, are there any more physical things? The power supply cover, but that's got to go on after the wiring. ADXL mount, and then a bunch of brackets which we don't need. And then a bunch of brackets that are in here, and they're going to be for wiring. But they haven't got any inserts in. So I think mechanically, this is it. We can take these silly stickers off now. We definitely don't need these. In sheer beauty. You can't really see from that angle. In sheer beauty. Now we've got to work out the wiring, which I'm sure will be easy and stress-free. Yeah, right. I'm pretty much going to follow the same process I did last time. which is wing it. Zip tie everything in place, get it all kind of bundled all around the back, snippy all to length. Or we just start with the mains and go from there. Start from where the power comes in. How did I wire this up? Again, it's me replicating what I had before, rather than being a right or wrong way. We've also got lots of this stuff, which is some nice cable sleeve. We can add this. Aha, some shorter zip ties. I think I've got 2 different sizes, so we can add this around the wires to make them look nice. I think there's some 5mm and some 8mm, or 5 and 10mm. Ooh. Maybe there's 10mm, 5mm, and 8mm. Looks like 1 of 5mm and 2 of 8 and 10. Maybe not worry about this too much yet and put it on later. That might be more difficult. Let's just have a quick inspection. So the 5mm ones are going to be for stepper motors. That's going to be a 10mm bundle. That's going to be an 8mm, 8mm, 8, 8, 8, and 10 to the front. Just thinking. Wires come round here, round the bottom. Inlet comes to those, out to SSR. That bed comes under the bottom. That goes into there. That goes into there. Okay. Let's get on with some mains wiring. I'm going to pull these off, I think, because that's going to give me a bit more access. And since they're not 2 clips for this, there we go, and 1 for this. So I'm actually going to do this earth wire under here first, because that sort of makes sense to me. And unfortunately, I think from now on to the end of time, it's going to be mostly wiring, so apologies in advance for the potential boredom. Thank you for the membership, Steve. It's really kind of you. I think I'll be able to meet you again as well. Are you going to, I presume you're going to Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival? I have decided I'm going, so hopefully be able to see you there. the apron. Yeah. Well, it was more than just like, I don't know. I felt like I needed a holiday. And I'm not very good at picking holidays. So I thought, what else can I do in the near future that involves going somewhere and getting away for a bit? I was like, I know what'll be fun. RepRap Festival. I can't find any bloody ferals. Could have sworn I put bootless ferals on the bomb. It's possible that I ordered them and they just didn't arrive. No, because I ticked everything off as it came. Are they just in here? This is some. Can't believe that's going to be enough. Because there's... Oh, shit. There's loads needed. Yes, I'm really looking forward to it too. And yeah, having a good catch up. I've not travelled to the US for probably 10 years. I went quite a few times to various places when I was younger, but have not been for a little while, so. I don't travel very well. And from like, just like plain sickness, it's a thing for me, so. Hopefully, I'll be able to just take some like travel sickness, whatever kind of tablets or something, and it won't be a problem. That's kind of what I'm counting on. Otherwise, it could be a miserable couple of days before. But I'm arriving on Thursday, so... And obviously there's like the setup day Friday. So if I end up not being very well for a day or so, then I'm not going to miss the main event, which is good. Fingers crossed be all okay there. And yeah, I'll get to meet Jason as well, hopefully for the first time. That'll be nice. Maybe grab myself an LDO apron. And I get to chat to some of the US vendors as well. Obviously didn't get to meet them at Smurf, so that'd be nice. I'm really looking forward to it. And I got a couple of extra days as well, so I'm going to try and have a look around Colorado and enjoy some of the scenery there. Might just go grab some new screwdrivers what I purchased, because I need a flathead screwdriver, and quite honestly the iFixit ones are not really ideal. They can be a little bit annoying. With the iFixit ones, they're great for people that don't have other tools, because you get a lot of bits and you can do quite a lot with it. But because you're limited to these bits in this thing, like you only get this much depth. And it's just kind of annoying. Hmm. Oh, come on. There we go. That's that one. Hopefully we should be able to grab the other one from the other side as well. Ooh, this one's going to be short. Ah, that's a problem. Oh, poopsicles. That needs to reach an earth, and it won't from there. Oh, shoot sticks. This wire needs to be longer. Gonna have to do a bit of a no-no in order to fix this. You don't have to do this, as in cut it. But I think I might. I might cut the new one that I put back on. It's not very good practice, I don't think. But this has to be longer. So we're going to have to do it again. Yeah, quite a bit longer. We'll have a whacking great length of that. No one will know. Screw this right up under here. Oh, what the hell? Should have pull tested it first. Always do a pull test. Always, always, always. Where did I put them? Back in there. Right, that's a bit more solid. Let's have another go. So that's going to go clip to here, clip to here, clip to here, clip to here, and up into there. I'm not sure I'm getting enough crimp force out of this. I think we have to, I think we can put it back one extra notch on here. Oh, we could if it wasn't made of flipping butter. Never really sure how much this actually does, but not a lot by the looks of it. Hopefully enough. So that'll then get zip tied under here. That'll be nice and tidy. We've still got loads of wiring to do. So in order to get the lengths close to what we need them, I'm going to start with some loose zip ties. We'll inevitably have to cut these off later, unfortunately, because we've got to put the wire braiding stuff on it to protect it. And it is actually relatively important that you do that for this, because the threaded rods, A, are metallic, and B, are a little bit sharp, being threads. So we don't want to damage the wires, especially after lots of vibration. So fairly important that you take good care to cover the wires and make sure they're protected as much as you can. I don't know why I've got all this stuff here right now. I don't think I'm going to need that for quite a while. Now, where is the right screwdriver? I've literally just put it down. That's okay. And then we've got the brown one to do. Every time I put the screwdriver down, I lose it. Right, so, oh no, one more. It looks like this is all I accounted for in terms of ferrules because I've now used them all. So I did count them in a way, but just not all of them. So there we go. We should now be able to get power into here. We now need power out over to this. Can we use the wires that we've already created? Yes. But we need more ferrules, so let's get some more of those wherever they are. Is that the size? I think that's the size I've been using. Need at least 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7. You could color coordinate them and everything, but for purposes of making the kind of bomb simple, I've made sure the wires are the correct colors and the end terminals are just whatever color they are. So this will go into one of these earth terminals and then over to the earth on the power supply. So for that, goodness, I can't remember which ones of these I purchased for this. Probably all of them? Remember now. I think we'll do the full loops for the mains, because we definitely don't want it coming undone. These other off cuts are that off cut is going to be too short, so definitely going to need some longer bits for the other wires. Not very long, but a little bit longer than that. There we go. Let's try and refine the length a little bit. Brown live, let's go, yeah, take off just a touch. So many tools, I can't see them now. There we go, very nice. I used to kind of enjoy wiring as being like a sort of therapeutic thing, but I don't know, I think I have a thing about doing things more than once. And because obviously this whole printer is an exact duplicate of what I've already done. There's something that just sort of niggles me a little bit about it. Can't even see what this is doing. Okay, that's already all the way open. We're into sort of ASMR live streaming now, where I don't talk anything, don't talk at all for like 10 minutes. We just watch quietly. Just about managed to get a mute in time. Oh, blimey. Whew. Right. That's looking reasonably sensible. Like it. I like it a lot. Next thing we're going to do is for the SSR. UR. Yeah, that's the same side, so we need to switch it around. I think I'll put it back on in reverse. The last thing we want is to wire up the SSR the wrong way around. That would be a little bit silly. I've got some even more terminals here. I went a little bit over the top, I think, on the different terminals. I don't know how I've ended up with quite so many. Some for thinner wires. Right. So for this we need brown. Ooh. Does that fit? Yes. And then on the other end, that only needs to be half that length. Oh, there's no screw in there or something. Oh no, it's fine. Oh, I forgot to tighten these. Make sure you tighten your bus bars. Definitely don't do it when it's powered on. That would be extremely unsafe. And not just unsafe, it would be actively dangerous. It would be potentially lethal. I don't know why I even mentioned it. It's obvious not to do that. So that's then going to the bed. These are low voltage. These are low voltage. Cool. So that's most of the mains. We just need the bed wires. I suppose we should do those now, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we, old chap? Right. Goodness me. Surprisingly, the bed cables don't actually need to be that long. What you're aiming for is sort of a kind of spiral pattern. So it goes from here down to here in a kind of coil shape, so that as it goes up and down, it sort of raises and lowers. Because if you do it directly above it, then you get this kind of concertina where it goes in and then it pops out somewhere. And you don't want it to pop out into a lead screw or anything. So by doing this kind of spiral shape, it sort of collapses in a reliable, predictable pattern. That's coming from about there, down here, down there, much longer. Good evening, Ella. It is 5:10. My timing is all over the place at the moment. It feels like early afternoon. Did the clocks change? When are the clocks changing? Sunday. Then we go on to weird British summertime. So the way these bed wires work is you come from the terminals, you come out towards the back of the printer, you come kind of down and in, and then they actually attach kind of backwards, facing back towards the power supply. And that's what gives you that kind of spiral pattern. If you try and connect them straight down in just like a C shape, then as I said, they kind of bow out into the wrong direction, which you definitely don't want. So it comes forwards and then back, and then you carry that going back down, kind of curls around, back on itself, back down, across here to there. Give ourselves a bit of extra wiggle room because I think we've got plenty of spare. So that's about how long I've gone. About a meter, I think, probably these. The length of arm to shoulder. Depending on what bed you buy, you may just get wires with it. I think what I did with the first one is I cut the wires off to go obviously to the Wago terminals, and then use the remaining wire to then connect it up to the rest of the printer. I think that's a pretty good way of doing it, especially if the wires are long. But this particular version of the LDO bed just came with short wires, so I've got to now make the remaining wire. Oh, I shouldn't have dropped them there. Numpty. Got tiny little sharp bits of copper on my desk now. I don't know why I did that. I also need an earth. We'll do the thermistor ones probably later. I'm not doing, because I'm going to move on to the low voltage stuff next. They have to be longer because they have to travel much further. There we go. Done cleaning your garden furniture. Very nice. Good job to do on an Easter weekend, that one, I think. Come on, brain. What did we do on that one? The reason I'm pausing is wondering about having the braid now. That's annoying. That one kind of went on the other side. Right, those are going up to the bed. It looks like they're hanging out and dangling in the bin, but they're actually going up to the bed. I always look at the screen instead of at the camera. It's just the way it works in my brain at the moment. Because chat is on the screen. I'm talking to the chat. Oh dear. Maybe I'm getting too old for this. Right. Oh, we could do these. We got lots to do with these. Let's do a little test because a test is required. So, it's surgery time. I acquired these snippy things, which I got out yesterday, because the earth clamp things, which I'm going to be using, don't fit very tightly. So I wanted to experiment with some alternatives by basically adding a little spacer, which we create out of a piece of thin sheet steel. Spring is here, and at some point it's warm enough to sit outside and watch YouTube strips. Nice. So these are the clamp things that we're using. Like this. But obviously we take the rubber bit off. And it's kind of an 8mm clamp. But the rod's also 8mm. And I think it's designed to be 8mm with the rubber. So when you clamp that around there, it's all a bit loosey-goosey. So it's loosey-goosey, but not actually by a lot. So the plan, I honestly not sure this is going to work, but it's the only real plan I have. The plan is to get this strip of steel and cut the ends, cut little shims out basically that I can wrap around. Yeah, I can't imagine this really working, but we're going to give it a go. I'm pretty sure this will just chop through this quite easily. Quite easily, not super easily. And then we have to work out the length and somehow bend it round a steel rod. Probably using something like that. Trouble is, as soon as we try and cut a length like this, that's going to be very difficult to get any leverage on to bend, isn't it? Yeah, not a sausage. So I have to go a bit longer. Or do we? Yeah. Don't know if I'm feeling strong enough for this. Yeah, I'm starting to think this is just a shit idea. If I was to like hammer it all into a thing, then it might feasibly work. But I can't see this going well at the moment. So we can maybe use the pipe clamp a little bit to actually get it to the size we need. But actually bending it to the right shape is going to be nigh on impossible. It does need like a little, isn't it called like a planishing hammer or something? So like put it on a thing and bend it round. Would work. If we put one on one way and one on the other way, maybe if we put that on and slip this over it. These are even worse than what I had before. I don't know how these are so big. The ones before were actually close, whereas these are miles away. No, there's not a chance with that. I must have bought the wrong size. Maybe I used a 6mm clamp. Cable or pipe clamps. Yeah, I mean, these are, yeah, it's basically a pipe clamp. This is what I'm using. Because it has a fixing point separate from the adjustment point. No, it doesn't. No, that is basically the flaw. What I need is a fixing point to make it tight, and a separate, an adjustment point rather, to make it tight. and a fixing point to secure the earth cable. This specific one, I believe, is called a P-type clamp, because when it's shut, it looks a bit like a P, as in like the letter P. But it appears to be very, very fat and not going to fit. Not happy. Not happy, bunny. This is not going to work like this. I'm going to need to find another solution. That shim also not going to work, so this no good at all. That's that plan straight down the drain. These clamps way too big. I don't know how I've managed to get such big ones. They're labelled 8mm. I must have used 6mm ones before, and somehow didn't record that that was what I used. Yeah, I mean the 6mm ones have about 1mm clearance, which is why I bought that thin shim material, because I thought that might help. Need an alternative. Yeah, I was thinking of cutting it to length and trying to like form it and then cut the ends, but I think by the time it's formed into the shape, because that cutting tool is quite big, I don't think there's going to be space to get the cutting tool in. And even if I do, the forming of it is now not the problem. The problem is that the actual hoop, the P-clamp, is like a 3mm space as opposed to like the 1/2 to 1mm space, which I thought I was filling. I might still have some 6mm ones from the previous build somewhere, if I'm lucky. That would be very lucky, though. I'm just digging through my... Aha! I see some. Are these the right size? Can't really tell. A 3D printed solution would be nicer, but we obviously need the good conductivity and being able to fix wires and everything to it, so... These say 8mm as well, so probably also going to be way too large. Yep. I've used the 6mm ones before, I think, which is why this 8mm bag was still closed. Oh dear. I have to try grab some of those at some point. which means they're going to be a couple of weeks, probably arriving from miles away. Have a quick look through the other boxes. No, we're going to have to either improvise something between this stream and the next, or wait for some smaller parts, some smaller clamps. Nope, okay, so we're not doing the earth thing now. We'll do that later on. Get the 6mm ones, and then we might try again with these when we have the right clamps. I don't think there's any benefit to trying now because we can't really test it. Oh, I think I know what I got these ones for. They're smaller gauge, so should hopefully fit the smaller wires that I'm going to be using. Okay, so these are the ones for the low voltage probably. What wire do I have for that? This. Doesn't look like a lot. There's also this. Lots of this. And this. We've got the motor wires. Thermistor extension probably with that. Stepper motors, we can also put the drag chain in. This needs to be done as we put the motor wire in. Just filled up my desk with stuff. I'm like, oh, we can do this and this and this. Let's get these wires out here, these low voltage ones. Hopefully using this stuff. It's a bit of a messy bundle, but it should be what we need. question is, will it work with these smaller crimp terminals? It looks like the wire is going to be too slim to work with this. Can't imagine this working. Let's give it a go. Sorry, that glare's probably a bit annoying, isn't it? Should we do this? I'm not sure it's focusing properly, is it? I'm like 2 hours in and I haven't got the camera to focus in the right bloody place. Oh. To the other end. Some kind of gross wire. Nah, there's no way, surely. Oh. Strip too much off. I think it said it was compatible with this gauge, but that, as we say, is non-compatible. So yeah, I don't think I'll give it another go, but I think we're going to have to find a source for some thicker wire. Unless there's some thinner terminals that I have, which seems unlikely. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel this internal part at all. Yep, that's no good. So arse. Let's grab some other wire then, I guess. I've got some like really chunky wire. I don't think I label my wire gauges very well. It should be on the wires, but a lot of the time it's just not. I think when you buy from some cheaper online places, it's not very good quality. So this is a little bit thicker gauge. Don't know if we'll have enough to finish everything with what I've got here, but That's okay. Right. So this is coming from down there up to this. So from power supply along, around, and up, which will supply all of our low voltage stuff with power. So this is going to be a not cut. My words are all over the place. We'll zip tie it to the threaded rod like we have with the mains. Well, we haven't yet, but that's the idea. That'll go up there. In fact, I think I do under here. Yeah, under here, up to here. Under here, up here, along here, into here, bibbidi bobbidi bum, and then into this. And then we have one up here. Which way did we do it? Done that. Red at the top and then black at the bottom. So red goes to this one, black we cut short. So this one go here, black comes down here. And then we trim the ends. You have to trim them quite a lot for Wagos. But it's nice and easy. So that'll then go down here, zip tied along there, nice and tidy, all the way back to there. Bibbidi bobbidi bum. And then we can do all the low voltage stuff up here. Easy peasy. So how are we doing? 2 hours 15. I'm feeling really exhausted. My energy levels are not what they used to be. Oof. So we can then, the cover will go on here. I think that's the last thing. So that will then go on there. Let's just check that fits okay. Yep, that's all right. Cool. Okay. I think now's probably a good time to start doing the cover on these mains. Now that they're in, we know that the lengths are mostly okay. I think the middle size one, probably good. And then we need a, can we melt it with this? I normally use the flame, but I'm sure this would work. This is much more controlled than a flame. Good afternoon, Pedro. So I've not cut this to length. My plan is to slide it on, get it to where I need it, and then cut the remainder off. It doesn't have to be the perfect length, as long as anywhere the wires are contacting the metal, it's covered. That's the plan. It's a bit of a fiddle. Better than quite good. Thank you. It's really just wiring now. And then obviously like firmware and stuff, but hardware wise it should all be assembled. Barring things I've forgotten, which is hopefully not very much. This is being more difficult than normal. Normally I'm fine with this stuff. Right, there we go. That looks pretty good. Maybe they're crossing over a little bit inside. That's all right. Let's just squeeze it down a touch. Making sure we're covering the full length. Now, zip ties. You can't really see much. I don't know how to get a good video angle in here. Shit webcam. God, the color, it just looks disgusting, doesn't it? Let's see if I can improve it at all. That's just default. You get some half overexposed, half underexposed. Thank you. Glad you like it. I also had it on my to-do list for quite a little while. And glad I finally took the time to do it. I haven't fully selected what project I'm going to do next. I have a couple of ideas, but I don't really want to share them. Well, I do want to share them, but I won't be sharing them yet. I'll tell you, I do have plans for another redesigned retro printer. VCorp Pro I want to do, I've reached out to RepRap. I'm not sure why they didn't contact me about it before. I think maybe from my news last year, they thought that I was maybe taking a break or something. I obviously did quite a lot with helping them with VCore 3, so hopefully we can do some good stuff for VCore 4 as well. but by the sounds of it, other people have already got them. So, and since I haven't signed any NDA or anything, I can tell you that I don't have one. I didn't know about it at all until the releases were like shared on Discord and stuff. So, oh, I've forgotten to cut the what's it doobly. I've just got this whole extra bit of thing that I need to cut off. Where's the sensible place? I suppose we can follow the wire around as much as possible and then just do it at the end. That's fine. "3D Jake's here. Ain't it A8 64-bit horror?" No, I'm not going to do an A8 because, like, to me, obviously, that, yeah, I mean, it was, we like to make jokes about it now, but it was, and still can be in some cases, a serious problem. But mostly, I just don't think it's that interesting. Like, it's a Prusa, isn't it? It's a Prusa clone that was really poorly designed. That's all it is. There's nothing. They didn't do anything unique apart from make fires. According to the video, they're selecting beta testers now. Maybe I'm not too late. We shall see. Normally, I don't do the testing. They have huge groups of beta testers already, though. I don't sure quite what's going on. Maybe they're changing up how they're doing it. But for as much as I was aware, they had large groups of beta testers to help them with that already. I'm making a right meal of this, I really am. I don't know, I mean, hopefully they do a lot with RepRap vCore 4, but I don't envision that much being possible. Like from, I don't know. To me, vCore 3 has always had little things which you can upgrade, like doing your own enclosure and like maybe some modifications to the 3D printed parts. I did like ABS ones, which optimized for ABS printing, things like that. But other than that, it was a good printer. So I don't know what they're going to change to make it good enough to warrant upgrading. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about, I suppose. We shall have to wait and see. This is probably easier to do from the underside of the printer, but evidently that's not currently what I'm doing. I'm currently doing it in hard mode, where we fish everything through the bars. It's like I'm trying to escape from prison or something. Picking the lock through the prison bars. Right. hopefully we can still get to get this wire through to this here. Yep. Yeah, they on that video, I looked at the video as my stream was just about to start. And they had kind of two of them on show, didn't they? The one on was it the one on the right looked like it had two tool heads. But we don't know like anything about how they're functioning, so I need a quick break for maybe 2-3 minutes. I'm just going to dump the microphone, and then we'll be back and carry on. So, if you need yourself a cup of tea or something, I'll be back shortly. Oh, I don't know why I've got those on for doing wiring. I'll be back in a minute. Right. Now that half of the people have left, I just looked at the viewing graph as I got back. It's just, as soon as I left, it just... I guess it makes sense that people don't want to watch nothing, but I wasn't gone for that long. I'm only human. Right. What were we doing? Multi... Wire. I don't know what else this... Oh, this was for... Didn't have very much of that. We see where we get to, but I think we're probably going to need a little bit more of that wiring. This is going to go... I think this needs to be clipped on. Now that I've got a some noise cancelling on my audio, you might not be able to hear the seagulls, because I can hear them. It's coming to that time of year where the seagulls start being very, very shouty. That's a bit more wiggly than I'd like, but I think once it's in, it's not going to be a problem. Right. Shall we go back to the weird, yucky camera? Yay, yucky camera. At the moment, no better solution, unfortunately. The exposure changes depending on how I lean in and out of the frame. Great. It goes on approximately like that, I think. I think mine's a little bit further up, is it? We want just enough room. Oh, that's the top of the monitor, is it? Let's try and get this to at least be mildly respectable. It looks yuck, but at least it's the right angle. So now we need to connect all of these down to these, pretty much. Well, not all of them. Bed output, that needs to go down to the SSR, but bed power, normal power, and motor power, they'll go here. I don't know if we need a motor power, because I think that's just for high voltage power. What did I do on the other one? Yeah, I think I left it out. Yeah, not needed. Ooh. Right. Try not to embarrass myself too much today. Terminals. Right, I'd quite like to switch to fork terminals, but I don't think I have any of that fit this size. So we're gonna have to do it all. This, I don't know what I've got these fork terminals for. Just running 48-volt steppers. No, I've decided not to for this one. Well, and for the original Evo. Didn't want to do 2 power supplies really. So we're just sticking with 24 volts. Because of the limitations on the design, because of trying to make it look like the original Darwin, we're not able to hit accelerations that would warrant 48 volts. And that's based on the mechanical design. This can be a little bit tilty when you start hitting higher acceleration, so not really going to benefit from it, unfortunately. Do you think using 10mm rods you can solve that problem? It's a good question. I've not tested it, so I don't know. Potentially, but then I think we'll start to run into, it's going to be a case of you resolve one problem and it's going to either create another one or you'll just identify one that was there before but just not quite as limiting. But yeah, 10mm rods should probably improve it, although obviously you have to do quite a bit of design change to integrate that. The obvious downside of 10mm rods is their weight. You add quite a bit of mass with 10mm rods. You may be able to get hollow ones, which are stiff enough, but then you also might not. And then you have to change the bearing design. You have less space because the bearings are going to be fatter for the thermistor and the hot end, and then the whole carriage it just becomes a big palaver. And I don't know if it's worth it because you'll end up finding a new bottleneck. I'm not sure at the moment. This is one of the reasons why I'm thinking not to do a kit and maybe to develop a more performance-focused but still cool version, maybe. I mean, linear rails is kind of an option, yeah, but then is it really a Darwin anymore? Maybe it is. Depends maybe a little bit how you implement linear rails. I think we have to stay away from extrusion to still call it a Darwin. Because if you start to you make it into an extrusion printer, it'll just look like a Voron. Which doesn't look bad, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad printer at all. Quite the opposite. But you start to lose the kind of the retro coolness of being a Darwin by doing that. Let's just leave this like this for now. That'll be all right. We'll stick it somewhere in there. We'll probably have to just separate these. Doesn't matter. Bed power is the short one as well, yeah, and then the bed out is what goes down to the SSR or SSR. SSR. The SSR. I've bodged that. Let's try that one again. SG15 bearings. What do SG15 bearings look like? Oh yes. 6mm rods with SG for a mini printer build. Just 6mm rods. Not embedded in a profile. Yes. I have some ideas of how to make this a really cool high performance printer. But it sort of requires a little bit of starting again because this printer, the whole design, I've said this 100 times I think now. There was never any intention to make this a commercial printer. So the design does not follow what I would do for a commercial printer. So it's not practical to make it into a kit. With enough demand, we could make it happen. But I don't think the demand is enough to outweigh the complications of doing it. I think a preferable move would be to create a version 2 or something that's focused on being viable as a more commercialized design rather than just this cool 2007 aesthetic. So we might have to sacrifice a little bit on the aesthetic in order to make it viable as a product sort of thing, or as a build. Yeah, and then we've got to do the bed out. It's a bit annoying. So these ones go the other way around. I don't know why these screws are always these like Phillips or Posi drive, whatever it is, the crosshead. Because it's like the only place on the printer where they use. I suppose other screw terminals. It's just Would be nice if they were just hex like everything else. This is going to follow this back down here, round to here, up to here, and connect into there. That goes to here, under there, over there, into there, under there, back up there. Right. That's going back over there. We'll sort that in a minute. So let's trim these. Well, let's work out where they're going first. This can go, I suppose, right into the closest terminal here. So that only needs to be that long. Just enough to strip the end. And this one can go next to it. One go down here. Try not to stab yourself with the end of the side cutters. Oh my goodness. This is not easy. There we go. This one comes in here. Right. It's looking reasonable. That wasn't a stutter. That was just musical rhythm. That doesn't actually help. Shitty view is still best view. Right. That's those little pickles. We squeeze it down a touch if we can. Squeezy, squeezy. Now we have the bus of can. A whole bus full of can. Shut up, Adam. I need space for USB to go in here. Oh. Oh no, not that way. You do it. You go over way. And then USB is coming out of there. That's coming out of there. That goes into the Raspberry Pi here. We need the voltage wires to go in here. I wonder if that's what these are for. No idea. Doesn't look like it from here. It's not these, that's for sure. Yeah, it's got to come down to the Wagos. Grab 2 more ferrules. Screw is a little bit in the way, annoyingly. The caps on these ferrules are just... Oh. That's no good. Let's tighten now. Oh no, I think that's worked. Yep, okay. Just making sure it's nice and tight. That's going down here, down to there, across to here, probably under around the back up through, back over here, something like here. That's probably right. Into there, down there, down there, around the back, over the top, into here. Perfect length. Ooh, that made a mess. Right. Oh, that looks a bit short now. Oh no, like that. That's okay. That should be okay. Right. We need to do the CAN bus cable as well. But maybe we'll sort out the Raspberry Pi first. Does anybody else crimp ferrules? What tool are you using? I've used this one for quite a little while. I'm just not that. I think it's just so dependent on the spring, it seems to be. I'm not applying the force I feel like I need to. Like, that's the maximum force I can apply, and it's like barely crimping it. As it happens, it seems to be enough, but it doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. Too wide. What size is that? Good evening, then. Hopefully this power supply is okay. This goes on here. And these wires go down here, round here. Something like so. And we shorten them later if required. Something like that, over there, to there. We shall refine later if needed. So I'm trying to be reasonably generous with the wire lengths at the moment. Oops, pulled out the wrong one. CR10 is a pretty old machine, unfortunately. I would expect headache, unfortunately, from a CR10. Back in the day, when they were like the first large format printer that was sort of viable and exceptionally cheap, they were very good. Sort of. They were good value, but not necessarily good quality. But I don't think I would be recommending one nowadays. This is starting to look like a printer. Just so loads of these little bits of wires sticking out. A little tidy up. Oh, these horrible little bits of copper that I've probably just stuck in my hand. Oh dear. That'd be a nice painful experience for later. Right. I need a bigger desk. Bigger space, bigger everything. Just more big, please. Deeper, wider, longer, faster, stronger. Can we turn it on now? No, because we've got these fucking mains wires just sticking out randomly. You turn it on? No. Any plans for an enclosed version? Maybe. Can't really talk about potential future developments. My brain's going. In fact, I think it's going nowhere. It's just sort of stopped. Oh, we're 3 and a bit hours. That might be why. Starting to go a little bit brain dead. I might have to stop. Oh my goodness. 20 to 7. Get some dinner. Time to print something. With the mains wires sticking out, I don't think so. This doesn't seem particularly safe. You're right. Technically, I don't need them. But no. Unfortunately, sorry everyone. I don't think we're going to print. We still need to do the CAN bus cable, the bed, wire a bunch more stuff in here. Some more stuff, not that much. It's weird, isn't it, how we end up at this stage with needing loads of stepper drivers, but basically all the auxiliary stuff is not used. Nobody uses heater ports on these anymore because we all use tool head boards. So we've got like space for like 4 heaters and they're just not used. Fans. I mean, this is open, so no fans. Maybe I need to design a printer that uses all of the things. Oh, that would be funny. But also very, very stupid and a waste of time. Oh dear. Mount the board on your print head. The whole board. The printer is the tool head. How about that? We make the print head so big. Completely like inverted printer. No, that would be silly. Very, very silly. Don't do silly things. Maybe I'll just design silly printers. Take a note out of the unnecessary inventions book and just do things that are silly because it's the internet. Yeah, completely static printhead and the bed just slides around. I think there is a printer that does that. That would be very, very silly. You're getting pretty close to like a CNC machine then, aren't you? That's where, because your part typically does it? I don't know. A classical CNC machine, I suppose, would, but maybe a 5-axis and stuff. I know that normally has like both then, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it's time to call it a day. I might be back this evening, but probably not. I'm probably gonna, I say collapse. When I say I'm gonna collapse, I'm not literally going to collapse. I shall become overwhelmed with tiredness. Oh. You know what I mean. I won't have the energy to do another live stream this evening, I don't think. And then I'm away tomorrow. Might be able to do one Sunday. Kind of need to do some tidying up of the flat. I don't know. I'll try and do another one sometime this weekend. But I can't promise anything. Monday is probably a no. So if at all, Sunday. So keep an eye on Sunday. I might be able to squeeze one in. If not, then we'll be back Thursday next week. Or this week, whatever the upcoming nearest Thursday is. So thank you very much for everyone joining in. Good to see you all. See some of you at Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival. I'm going to be there. Hopefully you get to say hello to some of you, if you will be there as well. And I shall see you soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was useful. Thank you again, obviously, to the sponsors. LDO, E3D, and it's Jo Prusa. It's Jo Prusa's machine. Well, it will be, eventually. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now. Oh, don't forget to check out vector3d.shop. That's my shop, where I sell the things. Some new shipping things for Europe and international. Goodbye.